Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Fatrobzpizza. Alright YouTube, I think I got my mic working right, got the video on. Anyway, what we're doing today is I've got some parts that I'm going to put together and build one of these AliExpress type of builds. And it's not a complete set like I usually get. It's a motherboard, then I had some memory laying around, and then I also had a spare 2680 V4 Xeon processor, so I'm going to see if it'll all work together and build it. This is a DIY F2O because it's an orange unit case. Okay, there's one side of it. Here's the front. This is orange. I know it's hard to tell in that light. Anyway, it's got acrylic, not tempered glass. On the top it has the power switch, USB 2, USB 3, mic and headphone jacks, a reset switch. On the back, as you see, it's got it's an orange fan. Yeah, it's an orange fan. Just where the I/O will be, power supply down below, PCI slots. So anyway, what are the parts that we're putting in it? Well, we're going to go with a brand new Sigotep GN650W, which is a 80 plus gold. It's a decent power supply, affordable, and 650 watts will be plenty for this build. All right, now this is the motherboard that I had purchased, and it is a Machinist brand X99 board for the Xeon processors. This one, of course, it's claiming esports gaming. Anyway, we'll see. So opening this up, I already have my parts in here. We're going to go for storage. We're going to go with a 512 gigabyte SSD NVMe. 512 should be plenty for gaming. Operating system. Here's my I/O shield. I had two different kinds of memory. One's 3200 megahertz and the other one is 2666 megahertz. That's probably what we're going to end up going with. I think this is normally, this board comes with 2133 recommended, but I think we'll go with the 2666, and that's by Levin. Let's see, comes with a SATA cable, which we probably won't be using because we're not going to use a SATA drive. Let's see, E5 2680 version 4. Now the motherboard, the Machinist X99 motherboard. Let's see, it comes with 4 RAM slots, and we'll be using, I believe, the outer 2. Processor goes in there. This right here is, we'll take that off to get the processor in, but this is for the CPU cooler. We need to put a battery in it because it doesn't ship with one. Let's see, it has their NVMe slot right here. Let's see, front panel. That's a strange place to put it, but anyway, front panel over here. USB 3, got audio, got USB 2, 24-pin connector, 8-pin motherboard connector. We've got the CPU fan at the top there. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna go ahead and get this put together, and we'll probably just build it right on the box. All right, I just didn't come up with a cooler, a CPU cooler yet, but I think I've got one that'll fit the X99. I believe it's a single tower air cooled with 2 fans. Yeah, I think that'll be what we use. Okay, so I'm going to take these off so we can get the processor in. Okay, 4 screws. All right, we want to push down, up, push down and up. So we will just drop that right there. Tap it a little bit, make sure it seats. We don't want to move it too much or push down because we can bend pins. You just push this down and in. Same with this side. Now that's in there. Like I said, this is 2666 megahertz DDR4. It's 2 16 gig sticks to give us 32 altogether. one and the outer one. Line up the slots. Okay, 2 clicks. All right, and I moved these up too because they're really close to this PCI slot where the graphics card's going to sit. Here's the SSD and NVMe SSD, and that's going to go right here. We do, however, need to unscrew this little tiny screw. Okay, now there's one notch, that's an NVMe, and you want to match it up with the one down here. It goes in at an angle, and then push down. We don't want to get it too tight, just want to kind of snug it. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay. All right, so we have storage, we have memory, we have processor. We need to get a battery. Okay, YouTube, we're back. I did get some parts that we needed. Okay, I got the battery to go in here for the CMOS. This goes in easy enough. Just put it in the front like that, snap it down, good to go. We have a Wangu. This is from AliExpress, 90mm fans. It's got 2 fans on it, and it's got 4 heat pipes, yes. Okay. Got some extra screws and another mount if we need it, which I don't think we're going to need it. Now, one thing to remember before I put this on is this plastic cover. You don't want to leave that on. It won't make contact metal to metal and really mess things up pretty good. Okay, that's protective. Got 2 fans, and I think these are just different color fans. I don't think you could program them. Okay, so the exhaust is going to go out this way, and the pins are up there where you plug it in at. It's going to sit here, and this is the one we can use with our fingers. So that's the way it's going to be. Okay, we'll probably route these out, the wires out that way, and then around this front. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use the paste that they sent. Let's see, it's nice and messy. Goo that all over that top of that. Smear it. It's a little messy. Probably could have done that a little better, but okay. So that just sits on those. We put the screws back in. Got 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we can do these with our fingers to start with. These don't need to be super tight either, but I'm going to snug them a little. Opposite corners, keep the pressure even. Okay, there we are. Okay, now we're ready to install that. Just to be safe, an extra little bubble in the middle of paste. Okay, now what you do is, okay, this is the top one. I'm gonna hook that one because it's the hardest hook. It's hard to get to. Now then, this other one, if you can see it right here. Okay, this moves a little. There's a catch down here. There we are. And it's nice and solid. You can pick up the whole thing by that. And what we're gonna do is just route this wire. No, maybe not that way. Plug in the fan, the CPU fan. And this does have a tab. You can only put it on one way. And do a little cable management while I'm back here. Kind of keep it out of the way of the memory in case we ever want to add more sticks. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got cooler, CPU, memory, storage, battery. I think we are ready. We are ready to put the I/O shield in the computer and mount this. And it's going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Okay, now one thing I did notice is we've got the top two, we've got these two, and then these two. This one is in the wrong spot. So I'm not sure where mine is at the moment. Anyway, so I took this standoff out of that one, put it in the other. There's that I/O shield, new in plastic, and what we do is line it up with the I/O of the board. Looks like this network plate thing is going to cover on it, and instead of ripping it off, I'm just going to bend it back where it'll touch that and kind of help it ground maybe. There it goes. Okay. All right, that's how it's supposed to go. Now, you set the motherboard down. Make sure that wire back here is not in the way. Everything, yep, just like that. I think should slide right up together. There we go. One screw in. These top ones are a little bit difficult because the memory is real close to where they plug in at, or get screwed in at. So I've got this little thing here. See? It's like right on the end of the memory there. They're real snug there. There it goes. All right, snug. Everything's snug. That's good. Anyway, now these connectors, USB and HD audio, they're missing a pin in a certain spot. Then you match up the right one with the right connector. So here's USB 3, USB 2. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the HD audio first. That's missing by the bottom left, so that's gonna go there. And click. Okay, front pin. Okay, good. Now, USB 2 is missing the one in the corner, and that's missing the one up there. So that'll go in this direction. There we are. And the USB 3 has got a notch right there. And at the bottom, so we put it in there, and that is nice and tight. Excellent. Okay. guess while we're here, just to make sure everything stays where it should be, I'm going to do a little cable manage right there. And we do. Okay, so we're going to go kind of diagonal, kind of hold these all together. I'm not going to get it super tight yet. That in there. That's going to go right there. So, I'm going to stay out of the way of the power supply, and then also the graphics card that's going to go right through here. Yes, that will work just fine. Strange indeed. I may have to power those fans with the actual power supply with those Molex connectors. We can do it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I guess the next step is the power supply. Sounds like a good plan to me. This is not modular, which that means all the cables are on it. It comes with some cable management. That's nice. Power cable, but we're going to use one I bought that's orange to match the system. I'm sure that's important. And empty box. Okay. So the way we're going to mount this is the fan down. There's four screw holes, and there's a little thing down here that kind of is a guide. I should probably do this, and it does have Molex power, so that's good. That'll power our fans. Okay, 4 hex head screws for the power supply. Here where we can see a little better. Let's see why. Okay, there's the screw goes there. Okay, next screw in this corner. Go ahead and snug that. Last screw. Okay. And snug. All right. Yep. Okay. Now we have all the screws in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got a power switch. Everything looks good there. Okay, so what we're gonna need is, okay, you can see that, okay, the main cables that we're gonna need in the box is our 24 pin, which is just inside this. Push that in. And then next to it is our 8-pin CPU. And that is not that one. And it should say, there it is, 8-pin CPU. And we're going to put that in the same slot with that 24 pin. All right. PCI power for this PCI power for the graphics card, and that will be going down here, so that will go into this one. not using SATA. We don't need that cable. We don't need the second. Okay, there's PCI. We don't need a second one. Okay. This is SATA power. We don't need that because we're not using a SATA drive. There's our Molex. More SATA power. Okay, so the Molex, we are going to hook that right up to this, and that will power the front and back fans. We have to get this cable managed because there's a big bunch of wires. And there's only a little bit of a bubble back here for cable management. So what I'm going to do is put these into the hard drive cage, since we're not using it. That will free up a fair amount of wire space for routing. This bundle still is big. We're gonna not do that. Just so these ones that we actually are using fan up there, and the rest will go down here. Yeah. That will work. Yes. That will work. Stuff this down in there as well. Okay, I got a little bit started on cable management. Now we can flip this back over, get everything plugged in where it needs to go. Okay, so here's the PCI. So this is for the graphics card. This is a CPU, 8-pin with the catch, so it's going to install like this. And the snap, and then there it is. And we have the same type of thing with the 24 pin with the catch to the outside. So that snapped and clicked. Wiggle it just to make sure it's got a good connection. Then out here on that we can pin and CPU. Looks good. Okay. Cables managed. Okay. Orange screws, thumb screws. Get 2 of them. Oh, those look nice. Okay, let's flip it over. And looks like we have cables plugged in, everything where it should be. I think we are ready for a graphics card. Okay, let me first off, just need to get one of these slot covers off, so we're going to take out this, loosen it. Take it all the way out. And then this comes off. There we are. Take this cover off. Take this slot cover out, and okay, this is a Soyo Dragon, Monarch Dragon gaming graphics card. Anyway, this is the RX 580. And, oh, it's a 2-slot, okay. And everything looks okay. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna need one more of these slots. And these other ones, that one was held in with a screw. These you bend and break off and they don't go back in. Make sure that catches down. Okay. We are going to get that. Okay, it's in the slot where it needs to be, and click. Okay, good. All right. I guess we could have. It's a 6-pin. So we don't need. This is a 6+2 is what this 8-pin is. We are going to get in there, and it clicked, and I did not leave any room for cable management for this, but what I'll do is just tuck it there, and that looks good. Yep, that looks okay. Alright, nothing's touching the fans. Okay, now that, we don't want that to be wobbly, so we're going to take that screw and get that nice and snug. And I can actually, if I had a second one, that'd probably be a good idea to put that in. Okay, they did have an extra, so and this, make it nice and extra snug. This cover can go back on. All right. Okay. So we've got power. We've got a graphics card. We've got CPU and cooler, a storage drive, NVMe. We've got 2 sticks of RAM, so it's 32 CMOS battery. We have all those cables tucked in the hard drive tray. Now, let's see if it'll come to life. Okay, and the time to test to see if it comes on. Oh, enable power. Ooh, 2 orange fans. Right, also, yes, I have an orange power cable to go with it. And I couldn't find an orange network cable, so I have red, which kind of looks a little orangey, so that will be going with this unit. System Xeon E5 2680 version 4 at 2.4 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of RAM, so it does see that 2666 megahertz, which that's good because it's faster than the 2133. Let's see, should see the graphics card, device manager. Okay. Okay, display adapter is the RX 580 2048 SP that has 8 gigabytes of RAM on the card for gaming, which it's a little dated, but it still plays pretty good, especially with the 32 gigabytes of RAM to help out. I think we should switch over to gameplay and first see if Fortnite will fire up. Before we switch over, I'm gonna go ahead and put the cover on. I know everybody likes the peel, but I'm gonna save that for whoever ends up buying this thing, so they'll have a little bit of fun besides all the cool gaming they'll be doing on this entry level gaming computer. YouTube. That was the AliExpress parts build with X99 motherboard with a Xeon 2680 version 4 CPU. Graphics card is a RX 580 2048 8GB. Little stuttering when it first gets into the game, but once it's in there, it settles down and it's a pretty good gaming experience. 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, so it's fast. It's got a good tower cooler with 2 fans. It's got some orange lighting, some looks like rainbow lighting, I guess. Standard RGB. It's going to be a good system, and it's priced right. Pretty cheap, not sure, around $400, I think. Anyway, that was the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.